All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that little hype video that we pulled together in the last minute to, hype things up just a little bit more. And here we are into the game. It's got a brand new spectator mode, which you guys might notice right off the bat. We see a lot more information at a glance, which is awesome. I'm just gonna make sure Josh is back into the game. Are you good?
Yep, I'm loaded in. Zooming around to the front here. Yeah, the new spectator overlay really is quite good. You can see everybody's HP and however many shields they've got. You can see their actual ultimate percentage, not just whether they have it or not. And it's actually very, very nice. The only one gripe that I do have is that the text itself for player names is a little bit difficult to read. But here we go, getting started. Game number 1 between Reunited and Luminosity Gaming. Luminosity Gaming will be attacking out the gate here immediately onto the payload, while the defenders, Reunited, are set back quite a ways, giving them a little bit of a cushion to push forward.
Yeah, look at this. Actually, a Hanzo on the defending team. Too easy. Rockin' Hanzo, and that is something we certainly have not seen in the past. I really think this is the first time I've seen him play Hanzo. It's pretty rare to see anyone playing Hanzo, and especially with this team, it's a bit of surprise. No Symmetra either. Symmetra had a big nerf in the latest patch. Her shields went from 50 additional HP all the way down to 25, so I do wonder if we are going to see any Symmetra in the tournament today. But yeah, Reunited is playing a pretty defensive posture here, allowing the payload to go under the arch. But this is basically standard play now on Gibraltar. Folks do not really want to risk trying to hold the payload too far forward and then just getting wiped. So they're much more comfortable holding back. But Harblu with a nice hook, he's going to be able to take out Too Easy, and that's allowing them a one-man advantage moving into this next area of the map, Joshy.
Yeah, and Seagull on that Genji actually running forward as well, just trying to maintain his harassment, basically, of the backline of Reunited. Anytime they get comfortable, Seagull kind of reappears again and goes after the Zenyatta or the Lucio player Cruz. But right now, yeah, Seagull basically just lied in wait until Reinhardt left his healers. He went in for the kill and actually went down to Vayutaja right there. Vayutaja on McCree, getting a lot of the work done for the defense right now, as offense needs to back off once again. Enigma is playing that Widowmaker, but he is going to back off and wait for the rest of his team, as they did get basically wiped right there. And as you mentioned, the cart has moved all the way under the first checkpoint, already headed toward the first hangar checkpoint there, but the rest of the attacking team now finally getting in place. Reunited basically just collapses in and needs to deal with Milo here. And they do very quickly.
Yeah, Milo goes down super fast, but Cruz, the Lucio player for Reunited, is also down, although it does look like there's a one-man advantage now for Reunited. And they're going to be able to hold once again here on Gibraltar. And another bomb that Jeff Kaplan dropped on us in our interview with him on the overview is that Gibraltar is actually one of the most defensive-oriented favored maps, I should say. Defense tends to actually win here, but will LG be able to pull it together? I mean, they've kind of run into a brick wall as soon as they've gotten through the archway. They've gotten completely stuck, actually, to be frank. And it's not looking great, as they already lose their healer, they already lose their tank, but it's actually even at this point, so will Seagull be able to pull out the sword and get some kills here? He's slicing and dicing, he's getting hits, but he's not actually getting the kills, and Pyrow is going to try to finish him off as Lucio, but the payload has finally started to move again. They've gotten a little bit of room to work with, but they don't have much time. I don't think they're going to be able to push forward to this payload, as a nice dash there comes forward out of Winghaven. Of course, Winghaven playing Reinhardt. We always see this guy as just one of the strongest Reinhardt players in the game, and a nice dash there. A nice charge, I should say. Payload has started moving a little bit, though. Ultimates being dropped on both sides. Support ultimates being dropped, and yeah, it does look like this is somewhat even, but Seagull's down. The DPS for LG is certainly nerfed without Seagull in the fray. I mean, right now, if you look at the lineup for LG, it's a Widowmaker and a Genji as the only two DPS characters for them. So I think they're really going to be leaning on and hoping that Harblu is going to get some great picks as Roadhog, because really with only two DPS characters, if one of them is dead, their push is already almost over.
Yeah, I liked the ground force that they had in the previous push with Reinhardt and Roadhog together. If Roadhog does get manage to pull someone into the group there, it's almost certainly going to die instantly. However, he hasn't really actually had the option of getting close enough to hook anyone. The defensive player unfixed on Genji is the only one really getting close enough to Roadhog to be pulled, and otherwise they need to basically get on the payload before this combo can really get started. And with Enigma being the only real DPS aside from Seagull, Seagull has to wait for his moments, otherwise he can't really dash in against a McCree. He can get picked apart very easily, and Enigma has to basically stay very hidden in the back. So if Milo and Hardblue can't get it done together as the tank combo, they're just going to continue to fall, as you see here. Too easy on Hanzo, staying safe away from the Genji. Anytime Genji got close to him, he just jumped down to his healers, Cruz and Mort, stayed alive, got a couple of kills. Winghaven, as you mentioned earlier, is one of the better Reinhardt players in the world, technically now, as he is one of the few remaining mains, I would say, on Reinhardt. I only ever see him on Symmetra otherwise, and Symmetra, as you said, has been nerfed, so we may not see that transition again. The offense, yeah, they've just got, maybe they want to switch up the comp. It looks like they have. Enigma swapped onto McCree now. You can see defensive ultimates going out now unfixed with his defensive Genji ult trying to get some damage in on Milo after that front line goes down again. Luminosity will face that issue of not having a consolidated push, and Hardblue on a Winston now rather than Roadhog. He wasn't getting those hooks, and now he has a character that can get in a bit further. There's a big Mercy res allowing them to actually take the checkpoint, and I think the lack of Symmetra definitely showed the huge difference between Gibraltar today and Gibraltar over the past few weeks.
Yeah, and I think it was the team composition switch that really, really helped Luminosity in that last engagement. They did switch over to, they dropped the Roadhog and instead picked up Winston, and the bubble definitely helped them push in. Of course, they also had McCree, so that was a smart move, and they finally started moving now into the shuttle room, into the hangar. But Milo left high and dry by his team. Milo all alone, and that's going to be 3 easy kills going the way of Reunited. And they have plenty of time here to set up in the hangar, Josh.
Yeah, I think the switch from Too Easy was actually super duper fast and really well played. Too Easy swapped from Hanzo to Reaper very quickly. He probably had that in mind as soon as he saw that Winston jump in on the previous checkpoint. But Luminosity Gaming still moving along. They've got another checkpoint under their belts now that Reunited will have to try to match. They're moving through the hangar pretty speedily here, but this is again one of those situations where defense tends to give a little bit of a cushion until they reach this very tight choke here. And now you can see everybody just leaping down, even onto the defensive sound barrier. You can see everyone from the defense just leaping down. There's a Deadeye coming out from Enigma. He's actually not going to manage to hit anybody. Milo with the Earth Shatter actually does catch more than that, but Too Easy with the Death Blossom unfixed on Genji, scoring 3 kills there in the kill feed. Reunited doing a great job on D here.
Yeah, and with only 2 minutes left, LG really needs to start putting the pedal to the metal and making this happen here. I wonder if we'll see any more composition switch for the LD team. And Reunited has dropped the Hanzo, so it's switching things up a little bit. They do have a Reaper in play now for the hangar portion of the map, which I do like. I mean, a lot of the time you're really stuck close quarters here in the hangar, and we do have Reaper coming from behind, and all of LG has been collapsed upon. Reunited, it has this uncanny ability to to come from so many different directions at once.
Yeah, so with that next push, you can see Milo actually all the way, no, that's Hardblue actually, all the way out in no man's land. He's over by their spawn about to attack Mort. Winston versus Zenyatta battle right there at the spawn of Reunited, but Too Easy is also there on Reaper, so of course they are going to clean up that Winston very quickly. It did allow the payload to 2 or 3 push a slight amount, but now as they rush back in without their second tank, you can see Reunited slowly getting control of that payload once again. Seagull with a great kill on Unfixed is going to actually keep them standing, but I think Milo and Seagull are outnumbered at this point. It's kind of tough to tell if that payload's going to be able to move any further here.
Oh, but that's actually a nice kill on Too Easy. The Reaper is out of the equation, and Hardblue is pushing forward. He's going to be able to use his electricity gun to shoot straight through the Reinhardt shield, but Enigma coming from behind, trying to go for a Deadeye. Does he pick off anyone? He's able to get one, and this is actually looking okay for Luminosity. It's still questionable whether they're going to be able to get this point, but now dropping the Monkey ult as well, I think it could happen. Winghaven, though, responds with a nice charge forward. The Monkey ult still continues. Too Easy's the only one left alive. He's going to drop his ult, but it's a number of kills in a row there for Seagull, and they are going to be able to progress and keep their hopes alive here on Gibraltar.
Wow, very, very fortunate string of events that happened there. Milo with the big Earth Shatter did catch 2 members, and Too Easy on Reaper tried to get in a Death Blossom, but actually got swatted away before he could deal any of his damage. So really good combination of things happened there for Luminosity to take that checkpoint. Now that's another box checked that Reunited will have to try and match. And this is the last stretch of the map here. It's just a dogleg left around this bend, and you can see that last checkpoint there. Pyro and Milo will continue to move forward, while Seagull and we've got the Mercy player Esper actually both along the top edge. Eventually he's going to jump over and start looking for some squishy targets, but Unfixed is aware of this, of course. Unfixed is already watching for that. And on the payload itself, we've got the defense actually pushing forward. Vayutaja with his Deadeye, unable to find any targets, but does do a good job pushing everyone back.
And both teams now rocking Widowmaker. It does make sense. This last stretch is a very long line of sight, so Widowmaker can be huge, but it looks like the kills are going the way of LG. They want to set a time. They need to set a time here on Gibraltar, and Milo almost charges to his death, just barely surviving that, and they're going to keep pushing forward. LG looking strong, and they should be able to set a time, but Morte with the Tracers zips into the action last possible second. Vayutaja now collapsing, Cruz now collapsing, and this should be enough time for Reunited to extend a little bit longer. Still, though, it's a tricky situation for Reunited as LG has the numbers. They're going to have to trickle through the spawn door. Ooh. And will a time finally be set here? Yes. A time is set by Luminosity Gaming.
So much happened there right at the end to allow Luminosity Gaming to push in. They did a very good job staying alive, dealing with the one player at a time as they came in, and Esper had his resurrection available that whole time, so I don't think they were even sweating it after they got to the very end there.
Nice stuff there. And here's a little play by the one and only Seagull. Taking 2. He's going to get a 3rd with the blade, and maybe a 4th as well. Huge play by Seagull there. Allowed his team to pass that objective. But
time set, 10 minutes, 22 seconds.
And gentlemen, 10 minutes and 22 seconds. More than beatable for a team like Reunited.
Yeah, Reunited just yesterday in that best of 7 that I cast, basically Reunited didn't actually allow Gringos to finish any of the maps, but whenever they were on attack, they would finish in 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes. Gibraltar was one of those maps, so we'll see. No one has been really running the double tracer as much, but I think Reunited still will use at least one. Either Too Easy or Vayutaja on tracer was a valuable tool for them yesterday, but I don't know if we'll see the Symmetra and Zen like we've been seeing in previous weeks. I think their time may have been expired by Blizzard. Maybe they had a little bit too much time in the sun.
Yeah, and I am a little bit surprised to how little Tracer we saw in that last map. It was really only brought out in the very last moments. And again, if you've been watching any of the Gosu Gamers tournaments or any other tournaments that have been going on over the last couple of weeks, you know that the double Tracer and Symmetra combo has been pretty much a staple of most team compositions on most maps in most cases over the last couple of weeks and couple of tournaments. So I still think we're going to see Tracer. The question is, will we see Symmetra? And is Tracer with only 175 HP not good enough to pick over something like Genji? These are all questions that we will find out the answer to by the end of the day, I believe.
I'm sure we will. I actually don't see any Tracers in the selection right now, even for Reunited, which I just said, Too Easy and Vayutaja, we're getting a lot of work done with Tracer. It looks like they are going to stick to a more traditional comp, I guess you could say. Reinhardt and McCree and Lucio, always a very good ground force, and Mort with Zenyatta, of course, can just toss Discord out onto pretty much any target to try and melt them down quicker. No second tank, so a little bit different force than we saw from Luminosity Gaming, but here we are out the door now. You can see Luminosity still chilling around the corner, as you tend to see these days. They give a little bit of a cushion. Part of the reason there is that the attackers respawn very, very close by the payload, and defenders respawn very, very far away. They don't have a Symmetra in play either, so it would be a long run back for any of those characters. They are running double Soldier, and Milo dying extremely quickly to the snipes from Too Easy, and they're going to get that first checkpoint checked off very, very quickly, while Luminosity Gaming still trying to get in position.
LG just kind of illustrated why a lot of teams are falling so much further back on this objective. I mean, Milo ate 2 fire strikes from the opponent's Reinhardt, in a row, and his shield just went down so quickly that now LG is in this position where I don't even think they can stop the payload from getting to this checkpoint here. They're just going to have to relegate themselves to the next room.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be able to hold up against this huge push coming into the hangar. So Reunited already blazing across this time that was set by Luminosity Gaming. Obviously, the hangar is a spot where you can get held up for several minutes at a time. We'll see if Luminosity has done any switches. It looks like Harblue has moved on to Winston away from Soldier, and Enigma actually on Widowmaker for the hangar.
Yeah, we have seen the resurgence of Widowmaker in the meta over the last couple of weeks, even without the current patch, even before that. We did see, and here comes a nice push by LG, perfect coordination, but will it work out for them here? They've already lost 2, but they've taken down 3. It's quite even now on the objective. Milo, though, left with so little health.
He had so little help, but he got it done himself. He just shattered the Reinhardt there, charged him directly into that turbine. Health. Yeah, still not a ton of health on him, but he did actually get the job done, and well played to Luminosity Gaming, stopping them once again. Every full stop is worth a good 30-40 seconds off the clock before they can really get an assertive push onto that payload again. You can see the ultimates across the top. Defense does have just Seagull's sword available, while offense does have a Deadeye and an Earth Shatter. So offense looking a little stronger moving in, but it can be tough to trickle through these doors on Gibraltar. There's only these 4 entrances, but they're all very small and can all be called out very quickly.
Here comes the Deadeye, but why did you drop your shield, Milo? Milo dropped his shield for a quick second, and that was all that Valutaja needed to drop the Deadeye and get the kill. Although we do have a flurry of support ultimates up for both teams. Both teams have their support ultimates, and the problem now for LG is that they've dropped both of their support ultimates, and both are still up for Reunited.gg. So even though they have a one-man advantage here, I think that they're going to be able to, well, they have to sync up again for this next push, but with the ultimate advantage, I do think that they're going to be able to make something happen here.
Eagle there definitely just went on a rampage. He did his ninja thing and waited for his ult to become available. Then he just sliced right through too easy on Widowmaker, and he got at least one other character before jumping on Winghaven. It looks like he did kill Valutaja and Winghaven, both with that ultimate as well. But here we go, defensive ults being popped. Zenyatta actually is the offensive Mort on that Transcendence. There's a defensive Earth Shatter coming out, though, slams Winghaven and Cruz to the ground. No one is actually pushing the payload, which has trickled all the way back to the gate itself. Valutaja on McCree is the one to finally get a push in, but Unfixed did score a bulk of those kills there on offense.
Yep, and this payload is going to move quite far, but I think there's still time for LG to jump into the room and try to contest. The question is, do they even want to risk it? I think that they probably do here, but the shots are raining in already. Sniper's got his crosshairs just trained on that door as they come in, but Milo pushing straight forward aggressively as the Reinhardt, all by himself, though. This is like the second time that I've seen Milo or Milo, I always forget which one it is, kind of just all alone, left high and dry. I'm not sure if that's miscommunication or just some kind of play that didn't work out for LG, but that's going to leave Reunited plenty of room to get the next objective here. Unfixed is a little bit far forward, but his teammates are going to be able to collapse, and 2EZ is already on the Widowmaker. Enigma now switching over to Widowmaker as well. 2EZ will win the Widowmaker fight, so that is looking pretty scary now for the LG fans and the players and themselves, of course, as all that Reunited needs to do is get through this final point in the next 4.5 minutes or so, and they will be able to take map number 1.
Yeah, Reunited just chugging through there after that blade came out for Unfixed. Seagull tried his hand at getting a few Genji kills, but as the last man standing for Luminosity was unable to do so. Milo getting flashed over the shield, Winghaven dropping that Earth Shatter immediately after. They do catch a couple of members of the defense, and it looks like that Mercy Res is going to keep them in play, but Milo off on his own, just getting surrounded by the Reunited players. He is actually going to manage to stay alive and jump out of there, though. Good job to him. Looks like we got deaths on both sides. He popped that monkey ult. 1,000 health is no joke. He just slapped him away long enough to eventually squeeze out of there and stay alive. Now he's right back into the fight.
All right, Harblue is starting to tickle the Reinhardt, but Winston versus Reinhardt, it probably takes like 15 seconds of pure shocking to kill a Reinhardt as Winston. So enough to push Reunited into a slightly more defensive posture, but LG absolutely needs to hold here. Both teams dropped their Lucio ult, so still going to be able to hold for a while, but Valutaja looking for a ultimate here, looking for a pick. Milo drops his ult, but no dice. And Winghaven actually now totally out of position, so Winghaven, but Winghaven drives his ult from behind, and this is going to allow Reunited to likely push forward and take map number 1. But pretty decent stuff by LG here. I like what we saw today so far.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from LG to actually be able to set a time. Reunited just basically doubling their effort, though, and completing it in about half the time. The first checkpoint was really the big story here, as they met very little resistance before even reaching that shuttle room.
All right, so because we wanted to be as fair as possible to the teams, we're going to switch over to NA. Of course, you know, these players are... Okay, so give us a quick moment. And we also had issues with the software we were using for our webcam, so I'm not really sure what slate we're going to go to now. But sit tight as we switch on over to the North American version of the client, get a server spun up. It is now LG's pick. They did lose map number 1, and the way we're structuring this is that the loser of the map will be able to pick the next server and the next map. So here we go, North American server it is. And we'll try to get things going in the lobby created as quick as we possibly can. So please sit tight, folks. We'll keep things scooting along. All right, guys, you are tuned into the One Nation of Gamers Overwatch Invitational. My name is Fishtix, and I'm joined by Ask Joshi to commentate these games for you today. We've got a really interesting bracket with 3 NA teams, 4 EU, and supposedly the best team in China. At stake here with $3,000 on the line. Of course, we are sponsored by One Nation of Gamers as our title sponsor. And we also have much love from Geico Gaming, Video Game Voters Network, and Infinicine. And if you want to show the sponsors support, you want to show them why they should continue to invest in competitive Overwatch, all you have to do is go to win.onog.gg and follow the rules there. They're giving away a brand new gaming PC, and all you have to do to be eligible to win it is follow One Nation of Gamers on social media. So please make sure to head out there and check that promotion out. We'll be jumping into the next game in a second.
So there are some games actually logged into the brackets right now. IDDQD is up 1-0 over Impulse 11, and Flat Earth is up 1-0 over Cloud9.
Wow, that is a shock.
I
definitely would not have expected to hear that. Yeah, Cloud9 currently, a lot of people are saying they're the strongest team in NA. In my opinion, it's pretty questionable. I mean, of course, teams like Envy are very, very strong as well. But a lot of folks I know on the inside of the scene definitely think that Cloud9 might be the strongest right now. So to hear that Flat Earth is a 1-0 over Cloud9, that could be a huge upset in the making.
Definitely, and Flat Earth, I think, didn't they even have to scramble and find a player last minute?
Actually, the player that they were losing decided to just stick with it and play with them.
Aw, how nice.
You the real MVP guy who stuck with them. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who it is.
Don't worry about it.
But thank you. Thank you so much for sticking with the team, so Flat Earth didn't have to find a stand-in last minute. And it looks like we're going to King's Row for the second map in this best of 3, which should be freaking awesome. These two teams have incredibly talented players who really specialize in things like Pharah. We've seen Unfixed, and of course players like Harblue playing Pharah to great effect.
Some players are saying that Flat Earth is not an upset in their opinion, but also that Flat Earth won that game by over 4 minutes on a payload map.
Whoa.
Kind of crazy on NA server.
All right, guys. We are just waiting for one more person to join the server, and we'll hopefully be getting this started in just a second.
Yeah, just need to swap around Imagine with Unfixed. Unless Imagine wants to ring for Reunited. Could happen. I don't know if they're that comfortable with their lead.
And thanks to everybody who's tuning in right now. We've got over 2,000 folks on the main stream, One Nation of Gamers, and of course, several thousand more across the rest of the streams. Gosu Gamers with over 1,000. We've got about 400 on the French cast, and many more tuned into the ESL stream and additional foreign language streams. So thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in, and hit that follow button. We're going to get into game number 2 in just a minute.
Okay, and game number 2 of this best of 3 series is going to be played on King's Row. This is the longest standing map that we've had in the pool. It's been around the longest. We call it the classic El Clasico King's Row. And recently, obviously, we all learned a little bit more about the map with the Alive animated short, which was awesome. Now you guys have a little bit of context about the area that you're playing in, at least.
Yes, indeed. That was an awesome animation.
And yeah, so now the players have a little more context for what they're doing here, and I'm sure they're all very concerned about the lore aspects of all the maps, but obviously they're going to be focused on strategy instead. And this map has seen a lot of strategies throughout the months that the beta has been with us, and most of them do involve Symmetra, but the fact that she is somewhat nerfed at the moment could mean that we won't even see her here. You can see on the attacking side right now, they haven't selected all of their characters, but on defense you can see there is no Symmetra in line, and they are already preparing their defenses. So no teleporter is still an interesting choice. I don't know if it's the right one. Her teleporter charge is a bit slower than it used to be in the past. Also, her shield's only granting 25 extra health rather than 50 health. Could be enough to keep her on the bench, but it looks like the defense will be going with a very classic kind of composition. They've got Reinhardt and Lucio on the ground with a soldier for support. Mercy will be bouncing around between targets, and Enigma and Harblue on McCree and Reaper. No Pharah, so very ground-based, very ground and pound, I would say, sort of composition. No air control.
Yeah, I actually feel like with all the hit scan characters we have on the Luminosity Gaming defense, I feel like this is an anti-Pharah comp, frankly. I mean, both McCree and 76, played by Enigma and Seagull, they are made for killing Pharahs, floating not too far overhead. But on attack, we actually have too easy sticking with Widowmaker, so no tracers. Apparently that 25 HP nerf to Symmetra's shields is enough to bring Tracer healthily out of the meta. I would say, though, that this is one of the maps where we didn't see the double Tracer meta as much as others. This is one of the few maps where that was the case, but Milo's shield already being taken down, so their big shield advantage now for Winghaven here, as it's not even cracked yet. Milo's going to charge forward and actually dodge the charge from Winghaven, so nice stuff by the tank for the defending team here.
Yeah, you mentioned the anti-Pharah characters, but Unfixed is actually just sitting above them, shelling away while they're a bit focused elsewhere. Esper and Harblu both fall now. Mort falls on the offense. Unfixed, though, still just shooting away with his rockets while Cruz and Vayutaja trying to get the rest of the work done on the ground. Vayutaja actually on Zarya, one of the best hit scan players in Europe. Playing Zarya is very interesting to me, but it is working out as Reunited pushes on to point A right now. They're going to secure that first tick. Seagull alone on Soldier behind them is not going to be able to do anything himself. Unfixed with that boost from Mercy, able to take him out very quickly. And there they go in just a minute 15 seconds, capturing point A.
Oh, look at the aggression by Too Easy here. If he can get an early pick now as Widowmaker, that could be devastating for LG. He's peeking, he's looking. Will Too Easy be able to find anything? It doesn't look like it, at least not off the bat here. Just narrowly misses there against Harblu. Actually, he did nail Harblu, but Harblu able to get healed up by the friendly Mercy. So now we move on to the city area of the map, the corridors. The winding corridors. This is a very narrow area, and Unfixed with a huge ultimate from behind, going to be able to take out two, and nicely timed as well by the rest of the Reunited team, as they, as per usual, are coming from multiple sides at once. That was a really, really nice play by Reunited. Very impressive.
Yes, Seagull once again alone as McCree behind them. This was just littered with bodies moments ago, but Reunited standing at the end of it allows them to push very, very far. This is kind of the money area, though. This is where defense really needs to make a stand, contest as long as possible, because the spawn for attackers is very far away, and defense is a bit closer. So this is their best opportunity here to buy a lot of time for themselves. Seagull with the Deadeye, unable to get any kills. There is the offensive break it down to make sure their HP is in high supply, and they are going to continue moving forward. Winghaven actually charges all the way past the defenders. There's a Zarya ult from Vayutaja, doesn't actually catch anybody throughout the duration there. Defensive Mercy ult brings everybody back up into the fight, and Luminosity Gaming looks like they will be able to hang on to this payload at least for the next few seconds. They need some kills, though, or Reunited's not going to be going away.
Yeah, and they are going to use that Lucio ult as a cue to push forward, try to get some kills, though they have been able to collect a few, but they've almost overextended a little bit. Now Unfixed is behind them, and it's a Reaper versus a Pharah. Pharah able to stay away and out of dangers, but now the Pharah taken out, Unfixed out of the picture, and Harblu coming from the bottom, but not able to do much. Pyro is just going to try and delay this a little bit longer. I don't even know. I mean, Esper is now going to die as well. I mean, it's okay, I guess they were almost going to die anyway. There wasn't really a way to exit that situation with their lives intact. But Reunited now working on what looks like it could be a very good time. So this has to be a super strong hold on the last portion of King's Row.
Yeah, it looks so good for Luminosity Gaming with that beat drop that they had where they surged forward, and then after that they kind of just got picked apart. Like you said, it was Reaper versus Pharah over on one side, Seagull as McCree was over by himself, and then Pyro and Esper were alone to try and contest the payload against three members of Reunited. It just didn't work out for them. They needed to consolidate a little bit quicker, and you can see the tails that got told from that. Basically, Reunited just pushed forward super easily. There's a big Earth Shatter from Winghaven, catching Pyro very quickly. Always nice to kill that support as quick as you can. Esper flying away out of danger, but Vayutaja does manage to catch her with the Zarya lightsaber, and now Reunited pushing forward. There's no one from Luminosity Gaming even in the way. Milo just holding his shield up long enough for some teammates to respawn. You can tell they're going to jump on that payload as soon as they get some more bodies.
Need to do it now.
It's gonna be close.
Oh no!
Zarya with the barrage. They waited too long. Everybody
Huge
falls.
flurry.
Wraith walks in, but it's going to be too slow, and that is going to be a very quick time, actually, from Reunited set overall.
Yeah, great time by Reunited. They just looked dominant right there. And I think it was Unfixed playing Pharah. It just felt like LG was never really able to deal with the Pharah constantly coming from behind, constantly dropping these sneaky ults from behind as well. And they comboed Zarya and Pharah quite well multiple times. This was just one example of that. Wow, time of 4 minutes and 33 seconds here on King's Row.
Yeah,
and
they
because we are playing with stopwatch, that basically means LG has to play flawless from here on out, lest they get dropped to the lower bracket in the first round of the One Nation of Gamers tournament.
Yeah, I'm going to pop out and just look at the brackets again, see if we've had any other developments.
All right, so it does look like the first match that will be in the book for today is IDDQD versus Impulse 11. IDDQD takes the 2-0 win. So I imagine whoever was covering that match will be jumping onto the Veterans versus Liquid Overwatch. So if you want to see the new Liquid squad versus the fresh faces of the Chinese team, I believe that will be on twitch.tv/ESL_Overwatch next.
Excellent. All right. So it looks like the players are discussing there's a slight bug with the most recent patch. When you respawn, you're facing just random directions rather than facing the exit, and that can be a little disorienting, but hopefully that will be fixed in the coming days. Lots of little minor bugs kind of introduced when they changed the UI, crosshairs, hotkeys, spectator bugs, stuff like that, all just getting ironed out as we go.
Yep. The patch this week had a lot of really interesting and cool balance changes, buffs to Mercy, nerfs to Symmetra, a lot of great stuff in this patch. Also some interesting stuff about netcode. However, it also introduced a couple of bugs which we will be working through. It's just the nature of the beta, guys. This is what we get for hosting a tournament in beta.
Yeah, happy to do it though. Give us all your bugs, we'll take them, and we'll take the awesome game underneath. All right, we're out the door now. Reunited on defense, Luminosity Gaming on offense. They have about 4.5 minutes to try and win this map. Otherwise, they will be dropping into the lower bracket, and Reunited will be basically supplanting themselves as the team to beat in the winners bracket.
Yeah, I think they might be the team to beat right now. That IDDQD has lost some of their star players, and already Milo's shield is already down. It's already dead, and Winghaven's going to take this advantage to push forward, get 2 kills, get 3 kills. Reunited already starting off strong, and that does not bode well for Luminosity or fans of Luminosity.
Yeah, and Too Easy actually is rocking the Symmetra. Too Easy, one of their hit scan players normally. So interesting, they're trading basically some offensive capability for that teleporter opportunity, let's say, that she's setting up her sentry turrets right now, 75% toward that teleporter, just needs to stay alive, and as I say that, of course, she gets mowed down by Enigma on McCree. Definitely can't get caught out away from your team as Symmetra in a case like that, because now there's no teleporter, and she's just not really doing much for her team at all in that case. So here we go. Luminosity trying to make the best of it. Harblue jumping in as Winston. He's going to have to run away from that Orb of Discord. Milo and Enigma coming from the side now. Cruz needs to back up and get with his team. There they go. Reunited actually scooping a few of those kills as the team starts to get back into play. And now they will have that teleporter. Too Easy at 99%. He will be able to drop that teleporter behind the point and buy them even more time.
Yeah, we're almost down to 2 full minutes off the clock here. And that's not good for LG. They've got to play absolutely flawlessly now to stay alive in the winner's bracket. Of course, they will only be going down to the loser's bracket, so they're not out of the tournament yet if they lose here. But Harblue will engage first, dropping the Winston shield, but that shield died so quickly. Nice ult by Milo, and that could be what they needed here. Although players dropping on both sides. Esper, does he have his res? No, Esper's so close to building the res ultimate, but doesn't have it yet, and Milo now left completely alone. We do have a Symmetra teleporter up for the defending team as well, and interestingly enough, we do have the Monkey trying to flank people coming from spawn for Reunited, so it does look like Harblue's going to try and maybe take out the Zenyatta here. Is it going to work, though? Morte, it's a support on support action crime here, and it does look like the first kill going to go to the way of LG, but now 2 dead for Luminosity, and almost GG at this point. It might be over for the hopes of LG.
Mathematically, they've got a lot of ground to cover that I don't know if they can actually do it in time, even if they were unopposed. But Unfixed, I got to give some props to him, just landing those Junkrat bombs. He's actually pulling some sick angles and managed to kill Enigma from around a corner as Junkrat. So good job to him. Now launching that tire, he's going to wait patiently with it for a few seconds and try to get the surprise kill, but it actually does get taken out by a very aware Enigma. Here we go. Moving forward, Seagull does have Deadeye activated. They are going to launch several ultimates. Winghaven with that sound barrier does get to charge in, but and Seagull actually killed him with the High Noon, with the tail end of that ultimate. Milo with an Earth Shatter. There's Pyro with that sound barrier. Luminosity Gaming not giving up completely. They are going to actually wipe Reunited, but time is totally against them at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in garbage time, right?
I'm sure they'll GG once they know that it's not possible. They're usually pretty good about that.
Yeah, that's true.
They have about a minute left, I believe. Could be wrong.
All right, so they are going to continue to push forward, but it's a 5 versus 6 because they have to keep one on the payload, although they are trading evenly thus far. I don't know if this is going to work. Nice res there by, of course, Esper, going to keep everyone up and pushing forward, and they are continuing the streak here. So is there hope for Luminosity? Can they survive here? I'm not sure. Could be a big ult by Seagull? No.
Don't really think so, yeah. And defense, all they've got to do is get together one time, essentially, and they should be able to at least contest.
But fret not, Luminosity fans, there is a loser's bracket. We are going to run through the winner's bracket first, so we'll be getting to the loser's bracket later on in the day. And that is the first game of the day. Reunited, the favorites to win this tournament, in my humble opinion, take the first game of the day for us.
Yeah, and
we'll be getting into the next as soon as we can.
Yeah, thanks for watching this first series here, Luminosity Gaming versus Reunited. Reunited obviously playing from Europe. They managed to take the game even over here on the Americas server, so well played to them. And we'll get everyone caught up with the bracket and everything in just a moment.
All right, so it does look like we might have to go on a quick break as the top side of the bracket is still going on. Cloud9 and Flat Earth are now tied 1-1 versus each other.